Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiret Nashta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Today we will be studying Govinda Bhasya, lesson 21. But before that, let us have a recap of lesson 20, which was covered last weekend.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Kindly share the screen, Prabhuji. Share the screen, PPT.
Asha, share the PPT. Okay.
Prabhuji. Till that, I will do the pranam mantra of Govind Dev Ji.
Okay.
बलदेव विद्याभूषण देव जी. श्रीला बलदेव विद्याभूषण जी के चरण कमल में कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम. श्रीला गोविंद श्री राधा गोविंद देव जी के चरण कमल में कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम. गोविंद देवदयितं परमार्थपूर्णं विद्वत्स्वहो जयपुरे जयभूषितं वे न्याय श्रुति स्मृति विवाद समोर्ध्वहीनं वेदांतरिक्त बलदेव यतिं नमामि. I offer my humble obeisances unto the great sage Shri Baldev Vidyabhushan ji, being very dear to Lord Govind ji and surcharged with the transcendental knowledge. He became decorated with victory in the assembly of learned scholars in Jaipur. What a wonder! Nobody was equal or superior to him in debates on the Shruti, Smriti or Nyaya, for he possessed the treasure of fully knowing the conclusion of all Vedic scriptures. Shri Sri Givnda Bhasya ki jai. Shri Baldev Vidyabhushan ki chan kamal mein koti koti dandat pranam. So now today we will do the recap seva. Just a second. Yes. Last week we did lesson 20, Adhikarana 2. The fullness is the supreme personality of Godhead. So last time शरद प्रभु जी ने बहुत अच्छे से जो संवाद हुआ था नारद जी और सनत कुमार के बीच में, उसका बहुत विस्तृत से वर्णन किया था. तो उसमें हमने देखा था कि कंक्लूजन क्या निकला था कि भूमा मीन्स सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉड हेड और ही इज द सोर्स ऑफ एवरीथिंग. वो सर्वत्र है, ऊपर है, नीचे है, बाहर है, अंदर है, आगे है, पीछे, सब दिशाओं में है. तो वो हमने लास्ट टाइम देखा था. और लेसन सूत्र 8 and 9. तो मेरा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ये है कि व्हाट इज द एसेंस ऑफ उपनिषद. उपनिषद का मीनिंग क्या है और हमें उसे कैसे अपने जीवन में लाना चाहिए, कैसे प्राप्त कर सकते हैं वो ज्ञान को.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी.
यस माता जी.
उपनिषद का मतलब उपनिषद मीन्स उप मीन्स क्लोज and निषद मीन्स you are to sitting close to the spiritual master and taking spiritual enlightenment from the spiritual master. So this is the focus, that is guru disciple relationship is the focus of the Upanishads.
Yes.
So
और दूसरा भी आ सकता है, दूसरा भी पॉइंट है.
Yeah, it is like it's mentioned over here, it's like a trustworthy foundation of a guru disciple relationship. And also uh, enduring importance of direct guidance. So when the guru gives guidance to the path of understanding, and the shishya, the disciple, he endures the direct guidance of the guru, and
Yes.
the importance of
And
that is there.
What does the
Hare Krishna.
Upanishads what does
It's
Upanishad
Saransh
reveal?
Vedas. It is the Saransh of the Vedas.
Yes.
That is for spiritual entitlement, bro. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Essence of
What they
Veda.
focus on, yeah. The essence is the guru-disciple relationship. Okay. The main target is spiritual enlightenment.
यस, मगर दूसरी बात यह है कि
And
वेदा
direct
जो है बहुत ही बड़ा है, बहुत ही वास्ट सब्जेक्ट है।
बहुत
तो
vast
जो
subject.
गुरु होते हैं वो हमें उसका जो सार है वो समझा देते हैं, क्योंकि
Not
इतना हम
only
लोग
not only vast, but it's philosophically very difficult to understand. Without
यस
Guru,
प्रभु
you cannot understand.
यस प्रभु जी। सो अगर गुरु जो है वो सेल्फ रियलाइज है, वो उन्होंने वो ज्ञान को समझा है और अच्छे से वो अपने जीवन में लाया भी है, तो वो हमें बहुत अच्छे से समझा सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम अपने अपने आप से नहीं पढ़ सकते हैं। वो हम विदाउट गुरु के अंडर गाइडेंस में ही रह के हम ये उपनिषद का ज्ञान ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि नाम ही ऐसा है उपनिषद, सिट नियर द गुरु एंड गेट द नॉलेज, स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज। Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji. The second question is, Prabhuji, slide number 2. हाँ, बराबर। What is the विषय of this अधिकरण?
The Visaya, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Slide number 3, Prabhuji. Yes, Mataji,
Visaya
please.
is Bhuma, the concept of Bhuma from Upanishad.
Yes. तो उसके लिए हमें कौन कौन से क्वालिफिकेशन, भूमा को जानने के लिए हमें कौन कौन सी क्वालिफिकेशन होना जरूरी है, जो नंबर 2, 3, 4, 5 दिया है ना?
First question we must ask to our self-realized Guru, Athato Brahma, what is Brahma? And
ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा।
Brahma
Yes,
Jigyansa, Athato Brahma Jigyansa. Then next is we should claim historic knowledge by quoting Upanishadic verses out of the context.
वेरी गुड। एंड बाद में हमारा हम जो ज्ञान लेते हैं, सो उससे हमारा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो पाता है, एम्ब्रेसिंग ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, राइट?
Yes,
तो यहाँ पे हम देखते हैं एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे कि नारद जी सनत कुमार जो है, 4 कुमार में जो एक ब्रदर सनत कुमार, और उनसे ये पूरा ज्ञान लेते हैं। वो इतना ईगर है, हमें मालूम है कि नारद जी फुल ऑफ नॉलेज, उनको सर्व ज्ञान है, मगर फिर भी जो सनत कुमार के पास वो जाते हैं और पूरा अच्छे से सीखते भी है। तो हमें भी जब भी गुरु के पास हम सीखे तो हमें वो मूड से जाना चाहिए कि हमें कुछ नहीं आता है, हम सिर्फ उनसे अच्छे से सीखना चाहिए, है ना? सो यहाँ पे संशय क्या है, ये अधिकरण में संशय क्या आता है? समता माता जी, संजय प्रभु जी, डाउट्स क्या है यहाँ पे?
Whether Bhuma refers to Prana or Lord Vishnu.
स्लाइड नंबर 4. हाँ, यस माता जी।
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. It refers that Prana, life breath. It refers whether it is life breath or Lord Vishnu, Bhuma.
यस। तो यहाँ पे संशय ये है कि क्या ये भूमा जो है वो लाइफ ब्रेथ है, क्योंकि पूरा जो डिस्क्रिप्शन हमने सुना था कि किस चीज पे मेडिटेट करें हम, तो नारद जी ने स्टार्ट किया नाम से भी हायर है स्पीच, फिर जाते जाते कितना लंबा आया, तब आया था प्राणा। तो तब तो संशय यहाँ पे आता है कि क्या प्राणा ये है भूमा है कि सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी गॉड ये वो है भूमा? तो ये है संशय। तो पूर्व पक्ष क्या कहता है यहाँ पे? पूर्व पक्ष क्या समझाता है?
tells that Bhuma refers to Jivatman, which is encapsulated in breath. Because we
हाँ,
refer to as prana as the Bhuma, that is why they tell like this.
यस। मगर फिर हम देखते हैं यहाँ पे ज्यादा फोकस क्या है? स्क्रिप्चरल टीचिंग। जो सूत्र नंबर 8 है वहां पे हम वही देखते हैं कि वेरियस स्क्रिप्चर्स के टीचिंग के द्वारा हम ये साबित कर सकते हैं सिद्धांत को कि भूमा जो है वो सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉड है, क्योंकि उसकी जो क्वालिटीज है वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ उनको ही लागू होती है, जीवात्मान को नहीं लागू होती। उसका एक एग्जाम्पल वो बताया है कि उसका एग्जाम्पल क्या बताया है माता जी? जो अगर हम जब डीप स्लीप में जाते हैं तो जो जीवात्मा है वो अनकॉन्शियस होता है, कॉन्शियस नहीं होता है। हमें कुछ याद नहीं होता है। अगर हम सुबह आते हैं उठ के तो हमें वो याद नहीं होता है कि हम अनकॉन्शियस में हम अनकॉन्शियस थे तभी, तो हम कुछ देख नहीं पाए थे। मगर भगवान जो होते हैं ऑलवेज कॉन्शियस होते हैं और वो एटर्नल भी होते हैं, हम एटर्नल नहीं है, राइट? तो यहाँ उनका जो कॉन्शियसनेस रहता है, हम सो जाते हैं तो हमें कुछ मालूम नहीं होता, हम ड्रीम देखते फिर भी हम भूल जाते हैं। तो इतना हमारा क्वालिटी नहीं है, हम भगवान के मर्सी पे डिपेंड करते हैं, है ना?
Yes,
तो
Mataji.
यस, तो हम सूत्र नंबर 8 देखते हैं। यहाँ पे वेरियस स्क्रिप्चर्स का रेफरेंस दिया गया है। तो said that the Bhuma refer to Lord only Vishnu, who is superior to the Jivatma, as supported by various scriptures teachings. यहाँ पे बहुत ही मेंशन किया गया स्क्रिप्चरल टीचिंग। तो कौन कौन से स्क्रिप्चर से हमें ये मालूम पड़ता है कि भूमा इज सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ गॉड हेड? यहाँ पे कौन कौन से रेफरेंस दिए गए हैं?
छंदोग्य उपनिषद। हरे कृष्णा।
हाँ, यस। तो वो क्या कहता है, क्या इंडिकेट करते हैं?
To meditate on the different aspects of the Lord and cultivate. We have to realize the realization of the Supreme. Culminate the realization of the Supreme, and though contrast the idea of small, अल्प, छोटा सा गॉड, अपना भगवान छोटा सा अपने हार्ट में है स्वरूप से, लेकिन उसकी क्वालिटी बहुत स्पिरिचुअल रियलिटी इज हायर।
राइट, ट्रू प्लेस इज सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉड है। हम लोग अनुभव कर सकते हैं मगर हम जो सोर्स है वो भगवान ही है। पावर हाउस एंड पावर में डिफरेंस है, राइट? पावर हाउस जो है वो भगवान है और हम
ऑल
पावर,
परवेडिंग।
यस। सो और श्रीमद् भागवतम में भी कहा गया है, फिर दूसरे भी वेरियस पैसेजेस। और भगवान का सबसे बड़ा सत्य एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ, एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ मीन्स व्हाट? एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ,
Absolute truth means Bhagavan. Okay, that is Swayam Krishna.
एवरीथिंग इज ट्रू। सब उसमें जो जब सारा नॉलेज आ जाता है एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ में, भगवान का ब्रह्मन स्वरूप का, परमात्मा स्वरूप का और भगवान का जो पर्सनल फॉर्म है, एवरीथिंग इज कवर्ड इन दिस एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ। भागवतम का बहुत एक सुंदर सा श्लोक है, सत्यव्रतम सत्यपरम त्रिसत्यम सत्यस्य योनि निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यम ऋत सत्य नेत्रम सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नम। ये जो देवताओं की स्तुति में आया है ये श्लोक, वहां पे भगवान को इतनी ऑलमोस्ट 10 to 12 टाइम सत्य का नाम से पुकारा गया है, क्योंकि भगवान ही सत्य है। यस, है ना? तो और तो रियल विजडम क्या है हमारे लिए सही विजडम क्या है? प्रभु जी स्लाइड नंबर 6।
उस सत्य को जानना ही रियल विजडम है. टू नो दैट एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ, दैट इज रियल विजडम.
यस, और उससे जुड़ना, उससे मेडिटेट करना, वो ही हमारे लिए एक सत्य है। सही बात है माता जी, थैंक यू माता जी। सो व्हाट इज द कंक्लूजन? कंक्लूजन क्या होता है इसमें सूत्र नंबर 8 में?
Conclusion is that Bhauma is not any Jivatma or Prana or any other lesser thing. It is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Lord Vishnu only, Lord Krishna only is Bhauma. Because of
भूमा,
the
भूमा,
attributes of Bhuma,
हाँ,
because of its attributes and qualities.
यस। तो यहाँ पे हमने जो वैदिक टीचिंग्स के द्वारा हमने यहाँ पे श्रील वेद व्यास जी ने बताया कि भूमा ही सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉडेड है ना। तो अभी प्रभु जी स्लाइड नंबर 7, अधिकरण 9, सूत्र नंबर 9। तो सूत्र 9 क्या है? सूत्र 9 वो हमें क्या देता है, क्या सिखाता है?
It is saying that because of these qualities, it is referring to only Lord only. So it says, because the qualities described here can be ascribed to the Supreme Personality of God alone. So these qualities are unique to the Lord, not any Jivatma or any other person, any other entity.
तो यहाँ पे क्लियर डिस्टिंक्शन बताया है। जीवात्मा जो है वो उसका वो अणु है, भगवान जो है विभू है। भगवान की कॉन्शियसनेस, हमारी कॉन्शियसनेस इतनी नहीं है। हम सो जाते हैं तो हम लोग, और हम एटर्नल भी नहीं है। जीवात्मा को हर बार जन्म लेना पड़ता है, संसार में आना पड़ता है। भगवान के लिए वो सारी क्वालिटी नहीं, हमारी जो क्वालिटी भगवान को नहीं लागू होती है, भगवान की जो क्वालिटी है वो हमें नहीं लागू होती है ना। तो ये क्वालिटी से हमें मालूम पड़ता है कि जो भूमा है तो वो सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ गॉड है। और हम जो जीवात्मा है वो उनकी मर्जी पे डिपेंडेंट करते हैं। हमें उनकी मर्जी के बिना हम कुछ नहीं कर पाते हैं। तो यहाँ पे जो फिलोसॉफिकल कॉन्ट्रास्ट है प्रभु जी, स्लाइड नंबर 8, वो हमें क्या सिखाता है? फिलोसॉफिकल कॉन्ट्रास्ट वो क्या कंक्लूजन देता है?
We should not equate Bhuma with Jivatma.
Yes.
Because Jivatma's attributes experience entirely dependent on the mercy and quality of Supreme Personality of Godhead.
यस मैथड, वेरी नाइस। सो यहाँ पे हम देखते हैं कि नंबर 8 में, सूत्र नंबर 8 में हमने देखा पूरा फ्रेमवर्क कि स्क्रिप्चुरल टीचिंग से हम रिवील कर सकते हैं कि और भगवत गीता में भी श्लोक है 15.15, सर्वस्य चाहम। वेदों से वेदों का पर्पस क्या है? टू नो द सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ गॉड है, वो ही है, हमें जानना वो ही है। वेदों का हम जितनी भी वेदों की हम पढ़े और उसको स्टडी करें, मगर उसका पर्पस वही है, टू नो द सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ गॉड है। और सूत्र नंबर 9 में हमें बताते क्लियरली कि ये जो सारी क्वालिटीज है वो भगवान को ही उनको ही हम देख सकते हैं, मगर जीवात्मा को ये सारी क्वालिटी नहीं हो सकती। क्लियर डिस्टिंक्शन है। भगवान एटर्नल है, ओमनी प्रेजेंट है, ओमनीसिएंट है, और फुल वो भगवान स्वराट है, इंडिपेंडेंट है, और वी आर द डिपेंडेंट ऑन हिम, है ना। तो अभी शरद प्रभु जी हमें आगे के सूत्र पे ले जाएंगे 10, 11, 12। प्रभु जी यहाँ पे रिकेप सेवा कंप्लीट करती हूँ। थैंक यू एवरीवन, और कुछ भूल हो गई हो तो प्लीज फॉरगिव मी। थैंक यू चारू प्रभु जी, शरद प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Yeah, very good, Mataji. Thank you very much. Wonderful seva. Raksha
Oh,
Mataji.
थैंक यू
thank you very much. Then we'll start today's class, that is lesson 21. In 21, I will be covering sutras 10, 11, 12, these sutras. And it comes under Adhikarana 3. Now, here as we have seen in very many Adhikaranas, the scriptural text, they may seem to describe the jiva or some other topic, but in truth, they actually describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the type of argument which we have seen. And in Visaya also we have seen any passage which is put forward, it contains words that means one thing, but according to the context indicates that it is they are referring to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please remember that here in this Govinda Bhasya or Brahma Sutra, these statements are dependent on the context. When the context changes, the meanings they also change. Like I'll give you one example which we will be discussing in more detail in today's class. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Gargi, she is asking to Yajnavalkya, she is saying that thing which is above heaven and below the earth, which is between heaven and earth, which is in the present, past and future, in what is that oven, rep and oof? We'll see this. Now the first, the question she asked, what? Which is above the heaven. As we know, the heaven, above the heaven is Maharloka. And what is below the earth? Below the earth, there Atala, Bitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. And what is between heaven and earth? Between heaven and earth is Bhuvarloka. Now, then what is which is in past, present, and future? Now, all these material planets, they do not exist in past, present, and future, or in all the three tenses, three the modes of time. They do not exist. They are there for some time. Then, after some time, they get destroyed, and again they are created like this. That means what the answer should be? It should be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why what example I gave you, these are all context driven and they should be understood like this. Now, when asked like this, Yajnavalkya he replied that which is above heaven, which is below earth, and which is between heaven and earth, and which is in the past, present, and future, that is woven as wrap and woof in the akasa, sky. In what then is the sky, woven, wrap, and woof? Now, these words also try to understand this. This will come up in the slides. Woven, wrap, and woof. These are the terms used for craft making cloth on a loom. Woven means threads are crossed to make the fabric. Wrap means the long vertical threads on the loom. And woof means the horizontal threads that go over and under the wrap. And together they form a phrase known as wrap and woof, like this. Now, Gargi then says, then if it is woven in the imperishable akshara, the imperishable is not large, not small, not short, not tall, not red, not liquid, not without shadow, then without darkness, without air, without ether, like this. Then she says without taste, without smell, without eyes, without ears, without speech, like this. So many things. Now, when you consider all these terms in the general sense, the meaning is different. But what actually is the real meaning is something else. And here, as we have seen in very many adhikaranas, the meaning is it is the supreme personality of Godhead. Now here it will come in the next slide, the Samsaya, Purvapaksha and Siddhanta. Samsaya here, as I said, is Akshara. Akshara means not Akshara. That means eternal. Who has got eternality? It is the supreme personality of Godhead who is eternal. The Jiva is not eternal. And Pradhana is not eternal. The only eternal person is the supreme personality of Godhead. But Purvapaksha, they will argue differently and they will say that Akshara means all the three, which is not correct. And Siddhanta finally will let us see what the Siddhanta is. Let us go to the next slide. Okay, this is now the contextual meaning of Akshara. The term Akshara is discussed in the context of the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. 3, 8, 6 to 8, 6, 7, 8 in these three verses where it is used to describe something that transcends physical attributes and dualities. Now, who can transcend physical attributes and who can transcend dualities? It is not the Jiva or anything else. It has to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why Gargi asked Yajnavalkya about the nature of existence. What actually had happened, there are a lot of great personalities who were trying to test Yajnavalkya about his knowledge. And Gargi was elected to ask the question in the beginning. And as you will see, she asked questions and Yajnavalkya, he answers. And after she got totally convinced, then the other sadhus, other rishis, they asked questions. So this is what was happening. Now Gargi asked Yajnavalkya about the nature of existence, leading to a profound exploration of what is eternal and imperishable. Akshara. What is eternal and what is imperishable? It does not perish under any circumstances. As we have seen, anything and everything except the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they perish. Therefore, this has to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Akshara is characterized as something that is not defined by size. The Supreme Lord cannot be defined by size. He is so and so size, shape, or sensory perception, emphasizing its transcendental nature. Like you may say, when Krishna came here 5,000 years back, he had a particular size and shape like a human being. Yes, that is correct. But also, as we know from Bhagavad Gita, the Lord showed his Virat Rupa to Arjuna. That time he became very big. So big that Arjuna could not imagine what it was. That the Jiva cannot act like that. It is the Supreme Lord. He does not have a size. We'll come to that point later on also. Then what is the samsaya? Question of identity. There arises a doubt regarding the precise identity of Akshara. as we said, whether it is Pradhana, the primordial nature, or it is Jivatman, or it is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is a genuine doubt. But what the Purva Paksha people, they say, antithesis, ambiguity means the term Akshara could refer to any of the three entities, that is either Pradhana, Jivatman, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are saying. The three entities mentioned, indicating that it is meaning in this context is not straightforward and is open to interpretation. What they are saying, that it is not straightforward. It has got so many three meanings. Therefore, anybody can interpret that to some way. Now, Siddhanta, that is the Vedic conclusion, of whom? Of none other than Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva was an incarnation of the Supreme Lord Narayana. What he says? Now the definitive understanding is anticipated in the subsequent sutras 1 through 10 to 12, which you will see, which will provide clarity on the nature of Akshara. That we will see in very great detail. And it will be very, very clear that Akshara is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna only, and not Pradhana, not Jivatman, not anybody else. Now, we will see later on in the next slide, but in very brief, I will tell you about this 10th Sutra. Now, 10th Sutra says what? Aksharam ambaranta drute. This means the word Akshara refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, because Akshara is described as the resting place of all elements, beginning with the grossest and culminating in the sky. We'll see Akasa, Akshara, and all that. What it is saying, on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything rests. But if we apply this to the Jiva or to Pradhana, it is not true. On the Jiva, the complete universe, all the elements, the grossest elements to the most subtle elements, they do not rest on the Jiva. And toward this, the Akshara, that's why should be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But why? Why? Because the Sutra says that the Akshara is described as the resting place for all the elements we know so far. And there are the grossest elements like the earth and the subtle elements like the sky also. Now, that's why Gargi is also asking, the sky is woven, rep and woof in the eternal. The word Akshara must refer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because it is here described as the resting place of all the elements. It cannot be anything else. Now, a word about this Oto which is also given in the Bhagavad Gita, also in Upanishad, also here in this Upanishad. We are not going into detail, but please try to understand this. It will help you in understanding the verses 10, 11, and 12. Now, the term we are referring to are Ota and Prota, and combinedly they are known as Ota Prota, which describe how the Supreme Lord, he pervades and sustains the entire universe like rep and woof in a woven cloth. In Bhagavad Gita, this concept is described in 7th chapter, 7th verse, where Lord Krishna states that everything rests on him like pearls strung on a thread. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre maniganaiva. Like on a sutra, on a thread, the pearls they are strung. There you cannot see the thread. but you can see the things which are woven in that. Likewise, even though everything rests on the Supreme Lord, we cannot see Him. We can see only the material things. And therefore, it has to be understood this way. Ota means pervading longitudinally, like the lengthwise threads. It signifying the direct, individual and continuous thread of connection the Supreme Lord maintains with every single created entity. That means we have got a direct connection with the Supreme Lord because everything is resting on the Lord. And prota means pervading transversely, like the crosswise threads in a loom. It signifies the collective and universal unfoldment of the entire cosmic manifestation. In context of Bhagavad Gita, it says, Mata parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mai sarpamidang protam sutre manigana iva. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains in his purports that the Supreme Lord is the ultimate cause of all causes. Just as the pearls are strung on a thread, the entire material and spiritual creation is strung and supported by the Supreme Lord Krishna. And pervading everything means while ordinary people see matter and energy as separate from the Supreme Lord, a devotee of Krishna sees how the Lord intimately holds together and permeates every atom of existence. That means not only that we are connected to the Supreme Lord, we are also connected to each other. That is the connectedness of the creation of the Supreme Lord. That means we have to see the Supreme Lord in anything and everything of His creation. This is what it means. In Srimad Bhagavatam also, it is said that the material universe is real, but it is temporary, as you know. The universe is real. It has its Prakriti as its original ingredient and final stage. And Lord Mahavishnu is the resting place of nature, which becomes manifest by the power of time, Kala. And thus, nature, the Almighty Vishnu, and the time are not different from me. The Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Lord is saying in Bhagavatam. And in Bhagavad Gita, also the Lord says, Matta parataram ananyat kinchid asti dhananjaya maisarvam idam protam sutre maniganaiva. That means there is no truth which is superior to me. Now the objection, as you go back to what we were talking, the objection may be raised. Akshara here may refer to Pradhana, because Pradhana is the origin of all changes of this world. What is Pradhana? It is the unmanifest nature, unmanifest stage. That means everything is in it. That means Akshara, why shouldn't it be Pradhana? Now, Akshara may also refer to Jiva, because the Jiva is also the resting place for all inanimate objects that come within its perception. Whatever we are perceiving, everything is resting on us only. That's why shouldn't be Pradhana be the Akshara and Jiva also be the Akshara? Now, all these objections they are raised and then solved. In let us go to the next slide. Okay. Transcendence. The passage emphasizes the nature of the eternal is beyond ordinary attributes and experiences. The eternal nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of that, the ordinary attributes and experiences which we experience, they are not applicable to the Supreme Lord. Things may be applicable to us, may be applicable to the demigods, but they are not applicable to the Supreme Lord. Now the philosophical inquiry, the dialogue between Gargi and Yajnavalkya reflects a deep philosophical pursuit of understanding the ultimate reality, what I was speaking in the introduction. Now, what about ambiguity and resolution? As we saw, the statement is ambiguous because it means three things. Then how to resolve it? The exploration of Akshara illustrates the complexity of Vedic philosophy and the necessity for further discourse to attain clarity. As we know, all these Vedic statements given in the Vedas, the Upanishads, they are very, very difficult to understand because they have got very deep and complex philosophy in that. And that's why we should follow our acharyas and discuss amongst knowledgeable people to attain clarity. Now, the purport of the quoted evidence which is given in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad I was talking illustrates the ineffable nature of eternal. Akshara means not Kshara, that is eternal, eternality, and eternal is the Supreme Lord and nobody else, highlighting that true understanding transcends conventional descriptions and categorizations. Like I told you in the very beginning, many sentences here in the Upanishads and in Brahma Sutra, they will mean something. They may mean something, but actually they are something else. It invites contemplation of the divine essence that underlies all existence, suggesting that the imperishable refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is central to the philosophical themes explored in the Upanishads. This is very, very clear now. Now, it serves as a profound meditation on the nature of existence and the divine. And by illustrating the limitations of human understanding and need for deeper inquiry, it paves the way for recognizing the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the ultimate reality. Now, the Jiva, he has got defects. As you know, there are 4 defects. Because of the defects, he is not perfect. The only perfect person in the whole creation is the Supreme Lord and nobody else, thus harmonizing philosophical thought with spiritual understanding. Now, here in this Adhikarana, we saw Adhikarana 3, Akshara, the imperishable Akshara, it cannot refer to the material element. Now, Akshara is the Lord because he supports all material elements. The material elements, they are dependent on the Supreme Lord up to the ether, and also because he is defined as the controller. The Supreme Lord is the controller. The Jiva is not the controller. Pradhana is not the controller. Nobody else can call himself as controller. It is the Supreme Lord only who controls everything. Because the passage describes his attitudes, this excludes any other possibility. There is no other possibility. Therefore, Akshara is the Lord because he supports all material elements, including the most subtle ether. Now, in the first pada, we saw there are 2 discussions about the meaning of the word Akshara or ether. Now there is a discussion about the meaning of the word Akshara, which is the support of the elements, all the gross elements, and it serves as the ultimate resting place of everything. And this is the discussion based in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. These 3 verses we are talking, 2 verses, 7 and 8. Now, what is here? We are trying to find out what is this Akshara and in what this Akshara is woven. Now, Yajnavalkya says that those who know Brahman, the Supreme Lord, this word Brahman, this is the word used in the Upanishads. The Supreme Personality of Godhead or Krishna, these words are not used in the Upanishads. He said those who know Brahman, they declare that this is indeed Akshara, the imperishable, because he is not big, he is not small, he is not short, he is not long, he is without material qualities, he is without material attachment, and he is without a material form. With all these descriptions, with our all knowledge, we have already studied the complete Srimad Bhagavatam in very, very great detail, not once but twice, with all our knowledge, and we know that all these descriptions which I just spoke, they cannot refer to anybody else other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the text again brings up the analogy of the material manifestations, starting from the grossest element, material elements, and they are woven into a cosmic fabric of which the Lord is the ultimate sustenance. Now, this particular verse mentions how the element ether is supported by something else called Akshara. And this Akshara is described as not having material dimensions and not having a material body. Now, the question is, who is this Akshara? Some could argue that Akshara must be Pradhana, as we saw, while others could argue that Akshara is Jiva. But Vyasadeva, he answers that he says Akshara is the Lord because he is the one who supports all material elements from earth up to ether, including all material manifestations created by them. And as we saw, it is very, very clearly given in Srimad Bhagavad Gita 7.7. And the Lord is saying, O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth which is superior to me. And in Bhagavatam also, as we saw, the material universe may be considered real, having the nature as its original ingredient, that is pradhana, and also the final state. But Lord Mahavishnu, who is none other than the Supreme Lord, is the resting place of the nature. The nature does not rest on anything else. And this nature becomes manifest by the power of time. When Mahavishnu glances on Pradhana, then the whole manifestation starts. That is the starting point of time. And thus nature, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and the time are not different from me. That's what Lord is saying. Because they are different, they are dependent on him, that's why they are not different from him. As explained already, the material energy or prakriti is both the ingredient and the final state of the whole material manifestation. And it is the ingredient because all material objects, including the universes and the bodies of all living beings, they come from it. And it is also the final state because when the universe, the multitude of universes, they are annihilated by the Supreme Lord at the end of the life of Brahma, there is again only Prakriti left. Now, these are the various arguments. Now, this Prakriti in turn has a resting place in Mahavishnu, who is at the beginning of creation, impregnates Prakriti through his transcendental glance, and at the end absorbs everything inside his transcendental body. Now, this glance becomes Lord Sadasiva, who carries all the jivas who desire to participate in the material manifestation, as well as the time energy which puts Prakriti into movement. Now, the Lord is thus the ultimate cause and support, and Prakriti is just his energy. Now, Pradhana, in turn, the same as Prakriti, as mentioned by various purports Srimad Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada, he says that the pradhana is usually used when referring to unmanifested form and prakriti when it becomes active. But in general, the terms are interchangeable. Trying to attribute the meaning of akshara to something else creates many contradictions and ultimately doesn't make sense. Therefore, even if one could accept akshara as meaning pradhana, still pradhana is nothing more than the energy of the Lord, who is the ultimate support. And accepting pradhana as the ultimate support is only possible if we accept that there is no supreme Lord and the energy works automatically as the scientist thing, as believed in the Sankhya philosophy and as believed by the modern scientists. But we know that this is not the correct view, not the correct interpretation, because this does not find support in the Vedic literature. And accepting the jiva as the ultimate support is only possible if the jiva is made one with the Supreme Lord, as propagated by the Mayavadis. This is contradicted in many other passages, as we know. Then let us go to the next slide. Now, the 10th verse, the verse number, that is the Sutra 10, Aksharam Ambaranta Dhrita. What does it means? Aksharam means, as we learnt, it is eternal. Ambara means with the sky. Dhrita means because of support. Now, the Sutra is saying the eternal, that is the Akshara, is that which holds up all things from the earth to the sky, being their ultimate support. Now, the word Akshara here refers to Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the Akshara is described as the resting place of all elements, beginning with the grossest and culminating in sky. Now, the point number 1 is the definition of Akshara. The term Akshara is explicitly identified as referring to Supreme Lord, and this establishes a direct connection between the concept of the eternity and the divine. What actually it means, what we are seeing, the resting place of everything. The resting place of anything cannot be other than the Supreme Lord. It cannot be the Jiva, because Jiva is very limited. And the resting place of all the elements, Sutra 10, 1, 3, 10 emphasizes that Akshara is the foundational support of all elements, from the material to the spiritual, culminating in the sky. There is a material sky and there is a spiritual sky also, and they are continuous. And this indicates a hierarchical structure in which the divine underpins all aspects of existence. While some non-Vaishnava interpretations regard Akshara as an abstract principle or imperishable substance, this identification with the personal Supreme Personality of Godhead sets the Vaishnava regarding reading apart, emphasizing a conscious and omnipotent foundation rather than a neutral absolute. The Supreme Lord, he is not neutral at all. He is the resting place of anything and everything what has been created by him, by his energies. That is, there is no doubt about it. And integration with Vedic text, reference to the Upanishad, Srimad Bhagavatam further reinforce the idea that the Supreme is the source and sustainer of creation. Okay, let us go to the next slide. Now, the purport of supporting evidence, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 3.8, point 6 to 8. The quote highlights that Akshara is intertwined with the eternal Akshara symbolizing the divine's omnipresence and foundational role in the cosmos. It illustrates that everything in existence is ultimately rooted in the divine. Now, this word intertwined, what does it mean? It means two or more things that are twisted together, mixed together, made together physically or closely connected so that they are hard to separate, like a rope. In a rope, you will find many the strings, they are intertwined with each other. Like this, we use the words abstract ideas and they are shared in life histories like this. That means, let us read this again. This sentence highlights that the sky, that is the akasa, is intertwined with the eternal akshara, symbolizing the divine's omnipresence. Divine, the Supreme Lord, is omnipresent everywhere in the cosmos and illustrates that everything in existence is ultimately rooted in the divine. If something is not rooted, if it has not originated from the divine, then such a thing does not exist only. Anything and everything of the creation of the Supreme Lord has come from Him only. Therefore, there is a connection between His creation and the Supreme Lord. And bring this teaching closer to everyday experience. There is a material example. Please understand this so that you understand what we have been speaking. Consider the moment of sunrise. Early in the morning, you come out and you see the sunrise. Initially, the darkness was there. Now the darkness has gone, but the sun has not come up. Then the red color sun comes out from the eastern sky. Then what happens? As the light gently spreads across the sky, many practitioners they greet the dawn with a mantra. There are various mantra for the sun god, and at that time they are recognizing that both the sun and the vastness above it are held by something timeless. Held by whom? Held by the Supreme Lord. And the sun god is a messenger of the Supreme Lord. And in the white presence of the early light, one can feel the embrace of the eternal. And when one is contemplating on this idea in a morning, seeing the morning sun, as if the whole expanse overhead in its immense and calm is quietly supported by the same underlying reality described in the Upanishads, that is the Supreme Lord. It is His universe He has created and it is all connected, and this simple practice helps connect the doctrine of omnipresence to a tangible and renewing daily movement. Now let us go to Srimad Bhagavatam commentary. The Lord Krishna emphasizes that the material universe and the Supreme, they are not separate, they are the same, because the material universe has originated from the Supreme Lord and they exist in unified reality where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate truth and support. That's why he is called the Absolute Truth. And with his support, the complete universe is running. And this reinforces the understanding that the divine essence is present in all aspects of creation. This is very important. The divine, that is the Supreme Lord, is present in all aspects of creation, but at the same time, he is not touched by it. Whereas we, the jivas, we are touched by it. Now, the example from Bhagavad Gita reference, Krishna's assertion that everything rests upon him reveals divine sustenance. He is sustaining the complete universe. Not that he has created, he is sustaining also. Presenting Akshara as an active, living presence that supports all existence rather than merely a concept. It is not a concept, and because it is supporting the complete existence of the multitude of universes which the Supreme Lord has created, and he keeps on creating from time to time. Now, the Sutra 10 establishes that Supreme Personality of Godhead is the essential Akshara, the eternal resting place of all elements. Supporting evidence from various scriptures underscores the significance of understanding the divine as the foundation of all reality, inviting seekers to recognize the interconnectedness between the material and the spiritual realms. This we have been speaking. And as you reflect on the truth presented here, consider in what ways might an awareness of the eternal support behind all things shape your perspective and actions in daily life. If we ponder what it means to us, we'll arrive at a conclusion only and take a quiet moment to contemplate this connection, allowing the insight to move from thought into lived experience. Because the Supreme Lord is active and his presence is a living presence, and he is supporting anything and everything which has been created. Now, with this, let us take a 3 minutes break before we go on to the next portion. I hope whatever has been presented so far has been understood in the correct perspective. Any questions or comments?
So Prabhuji, everything is rest on Lord, and we are dependent on Lord. We have to understand like this.
Yes,
He is
we
the
can.
source of everything. He is everywhere. He is beyond. ये सारी quality.
Yes, he is on our left, he is on our right, he is on our front, on our back,
Yeah.
everywhere he is observing us. But because of something, we are not able to see him. And he is the cause, and we have come from him. Not only we, the human beings, but everybody. That means not only that we are connected with the Lord, we are connected with each other also.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So that example of cloth, right? So it's a three-way, like so longitude, vertical, and diagonal. How they are waving. So one I can understand longitude. That means there is a connection from back to the Lord. But other two, how we to see that?
Other two means what?
There are three right threads. The
Okay,
cloth is given. The analogy of the cloth, right?
okay, like when we see a cloth,
Yeah.
we do not see the threads, various threads in it. We see the cloth only. But like the cloth, as if anybody would have seen in a loom or in a factory
Correct.
how that is made, somebody would have seen. I have seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there actually it is from the thread only this cloth has been made, but that is not seen. Like this, the Supreme Lord has made this, but he is not seen. He cannot be seen. That is what is said, and he is everywhere. That is being said by these various examples. He is inside, outside, front, rear, left, right, top, bottom, everywhere he is. That is what is the actual meaning.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
जैसे माला में जो थ्रेड है वो नहीं दिखता है, कोई भी माला बनाते हैं तो थ्रेड नहीं दिखता है.
Yes, like that.
तो
The Lord
like
is,
that, yes Prabhu.
yes, like that. The Lord is everywhere, but he is not seen. Actually, why he is not seen? Because we do not have that spiritual vision. We have the material vision. Once that gets turned to spiritual vision, we will be seeing the Supreme Lord in everything in his creation, and we will see himself also. But
Yeah, another example, Prabhuji, Aksharache Pradhan, for example, it's unmanifested. It manifests again, everything goes back, Pradhan. So one way it doesn't fall down. Basically, it is always there, the Pradhana, right?
yes,
Always it retains. So only it is it cannot be the supreme because it doesn't control. So the another category was brought in, that is a controllership, right? Just
yes,
to defeat. Other, it's also supreme. Pradhan is the supreme. It's not that is that Jiva. Jiva is we can understand the Jiva also. It cannot be a supreme. Again, it fails in all the category because it get conditioned. That's what is talked about. We also see that Jiva is not a controller because it's a very minute. Again, so
Eh,
how? Mhm.
yes, yes. If you see the Jiva and Pradhana, in a sense, they are also eternal.
They are also eternal, but it fails on that controllership.
The eternal means they exist, but sometimes they do not exist. Sometimes they come up, but in the Lord's creation, they are existing. Like after 100 years of
Yeah,
Lord Brahma's lifetime, everything gets destroyed means they do not vanish. They
yeah,
remain in his womb. And
yeah,
again, because after he glances, then come. That means, in that sense, they are also eternal. But
correct.
the eternality, the meaning for the Supreme Lord and for the nature, they are different. And as you
Yeah,
said, the controller, the
yeah,
Supreme Lord can only be the controller and not anybody else, not the Jiva, not Pradhana, not any demigod, not anybody else. This
correct.
is not possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Pradhana we cannot call as a supreme, is it, Prabhu?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what Pradhan. It is one of the entity, but it is end of the day. It is depending upon the Lord's glance. He's waiting for Pradhana. Is waiting for the Lord's glance. It means we
correct.
cannot call that as a supreme. I think so. Yeah.
yes. The Jiva is,
Pradhana doesn't control anything. Jiva controls his only body, but partially. It doesn't control. Like controllership fully fails there.
yes. The Lord
प्रभुजी
controls.
इन भूमा में हमने देखा है ना, everyone needs mercy of Lord. With mercy only we are able to do all things.
Because they are dependent on him.
Yes,
If
Prabhu.
had we been independent, we would not have depended on the Lord. But that is not possible. The Lord has created this creation of which anything and everything created is dependent on him and him only and on nobody else. Okay. Let us move on to the next slide. Okay. Next is the Sutra 11, Adhikarana 2, Sutra Adhikarana 3, Sutra 1311, such a Prasasanat. Prasasanat means because of command. And what is the meaning? Akshara here must refer to Supreme Personality of Godhead because the text says that everything is supported by his command. He is the Supreme Lord and his command is unfallible. And that's why he is the Supreme Lord. And Akshara means the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not anybody else. Because if the Jiva commands anything, it will not happen. Everything will not happen. Now, the authority of the Supreme, this is point number 1. Building on this foundation, Sutra 1311 emphasizes that Akshara refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because everything in this universe exists and maintained by his command. This underscores the divine authority and control over creation. The Supreme Lord has only authority and he controls over the complete creation. And this is to be understood by us. And the interconnectedness which we have been talking about, the mention of specific elements such as flowing river and changing seasons, manifesting by the command of the eternal highlights of the holistic nature of existence, where everything is interrelated and governed by the supreme will. Because of his will, everything is happening. We are seeing the six seasons, the river is flowing, everything is going on. It is because of the will of the Supreme Lord. And the purport and evidence given in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 389 illustrates the breadth of divine command, showing that all aspects of nature and time, they are manifestation of the Supreme Eternal's will. And this reinforces the understanding that Supreme Personality of Godhead is not only the source but also the orchestrator of all existence. And Brahma Samhita will go to the verse 52. The sun's journey, described as following the order of Govinda, the Supreme Lord Krishna, emphasizes the idea that even celestial phenomena operate under divine direction. The sun god is acting on the direction of the Supreme Lord and not on his own. Therefore, for the devotee, witnessing the sun's unwavering obedience to divine order sparks a sense of wonder and gratitude, transforming the observation of nature into a moment of heartfelt devotion. If he can be a devotee, he is such a great person, still he is a devotee. Why couldn't we become devotees of the Supreme Lord? And this notion further establishes that Supreme Personality of Godhead governs not only material world but also the spiritual realm. The spiritual world is governed by him, the material world is governed by him, everything and anything and everything is governed by him. And in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:29-43, the description of sky accommodating countless planets under the supreme control illustrates the vastness of divine influence. It affirms that universe functions cohesively due to the supreme oversight, surpassing the capabilities of inert matter pradhana or Jivatman. They are not controlling. The Supreme Lord is controlling. Pradhana is the unconscious and inert material cause, lacks awareness or agency, while the Jivatman is conscious but limited and powerless to govern the cosmic order. Only Supreme, endowed with both conscious and omnipotence, can coordinate and support the entire creation described in text. As you find in the present day world, there are so many countries, there the country heads, are they able to control the situations? They are not able to control the situations. There are disturbances everywhere. But in the Supreme Lord's creation, everything is going on as per the rule, as per the text. Now, Sutra 11 reinforces the idea that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Akshara, as everything is created and sustained by his command. The supporting evidence from various scriptures highlights the comprehensive nature of divine authority over creation, which transcends the limitations of material existence and spiritual and individual souls. Now, again, let me describe this whole thing in a little different words. Now, what we said so far, Akshara refers to the Supreme Lord because everything is supported by his command, and also because he is defined as the controller. And apart from contradicting other passages of the scriptures and general logic, the idea is that Akshara means Pradhana. Akshara does not mean Pradhana or Jiva. But how? Now, under the strict control of this Akshara, the sun and the moon, they remain fixed in their positions just as the heavens and the earth. And here we are describing the Akshara controls everything. And now the verse also describes that Akshara is the order giver. It is because his command that the whole creation moves as it should be. And as given in the Bhagavatam, as we saw, the material universe is real and it is controlled by the Supreme Lord. And because Akshara commands, this means he is a person and he is the supreme power. And as we saw from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that dialogue between Gargi and Yajnavalkya, what is being asked, what is being said, Yajnavalkya is saying, by the command of the eternal, the Supreme Lord, the sun and the moon are manifest. And by the command of the eternal, the moments, the hours, the days, the nights, the bright and dark fortnights, the months, the seasons, and the years, they all become manifest. And by the command of the eternal, some rivers flow to the east, while some rivers they flow to the west. And so by the command of the Supreme Lord, the men praise those who give, and the gods, the demigods, they follow the sacrificer like this. And what Brahma Samhita verse we were referring to, Jachakyuri eva sabita sakalam grahanam, the sun who is the king of all planets, full of infinite effulgence, the image of the good soul is as the eye of this world. And I adore this primeval Supreme Lord, Lord Govinda, because the sun performs his journey mounting on the wheel of time. That's what it says. And in Bhagavatam, another verse also says that subject to the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sky allows outer space to accommodate all the various planets, and the total universal body expands with its 7 coverings under his supreme command. And because all these words which we described, they describe the order of the eternal should be understood as none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and not the unconscious Pradhana, nor the conditioned or the liberated Jiva. And because the Supreme Lord, he controls everything. Then let us go to the next slide and see the last sutra in today's class. Last sutra, Anya Bhava Vyatatesya. Now this means, and also because the text describes certain qualities that specifically exclude any other being. Now what does it mean? Let us see in this sutra. Now exclusivity of divine attributes. Sutra 12 emphasizes that the qualities which are attributed to Akshara cannot apply to any other being other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This exclusively serves as the defining characteristic that defines Akshara as the Supreme. Like we saw in very great detail, the qualities of the Supreme Lord, they cannot be ascribed to Pradhana or the Jiva because they are all limited, they are dependent on the Supreme Lord. And the nature of perception, the description of Akshara as both seen and unseen illustrates the transcendent nature of divine, which is ever and perceptive yet beyond the reach of ordinary perception. We cannot see him, we cannot feel him, but he is seeing anything and everything, and he is controlling anything and everything. And the purport of supporting evidence, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 11 Sutra details the nature of eternal Akshara as possessing qualities that are unique to the Supreme, like the Supreme Controller, and everything resting on him. And the attributes of seeing, hearing, thinking, knowing, they highlight the divine's omniscience in contrast to limitations of both Pradhana and the Jivatman. Because of the Supreme Lord, we have got all these capabilities which are inherently unconscious or limited in perception. Now, as you know, our human body that is already dead, but because of the Supreme Lord's presence, it is conscious. When the Supreme Lord lives, then it becomes unconscious again. And the see Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 3.7.23 for the relevant enumeration of these attributes, including the precise citation allows readers and scholars to locate and verify these characteristics directly in the source text modeling philological care. Now, Bhagavad Gita 13:15, the description of the super soul as the source of senses, yet without senses, reinforcing the idea that the divine exists beyond conventional understanding. We cannot think about that because that understanding, that capability is not in us. And this highlights the Supreme's role as the omnipresent observer. He is present everywhere and he is observing us, maintaining the balance of existence while remaining detached from material nature. He is in the material nature, but he is totally detached. He is not affected by the material nature. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.16.52 examines the conditioned soul's misconceptions about the material world, emphasizing that they often fail to recognize the spiritual cause of creation, like the many of the scientists. They do not recognize this. The passage asserts that the material world devoid of spiritual foundation is impossible, and that the Supreme's presence is the underlying reality. Because of the Supreme Lord, the complete creation is existing. If the Supreme Lord withdraws, then the creation will also withdraw. It will not exist. And Sutra 12 concludes that Akshara describes in terms that exclude all other beings must refer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and nobody else. The supporting evidence underscores the uniqueness of divine attributes, emphasizing that only the Supreme possesses the quality of omniscience and omnipresence, which are essential to understanding the nature's existence. And this reinforces the idea that Supreme is the ultimate resting place of all creation. Since time is there, let me describe this in a little different way. Now we are talking about because this text is describing certain qualities and that especially exclude any other being other than the Supreme Lord. Now here what Yajnavalkya is answering to Gargi, he says that this eternal sees, but nobody can see him. He hears, but nobody can hear him. He is unconceivable, but he is thinking. He is unknown, but he is knowing everything. And there is nothing that sees but he, nothing that hears but he, nothing that thinks but he, and nothing that knows but he. And in that imperishable, that is Akshara, the ether is woven, wrapped and woof. This is what Yajnavalkya answers Gargi. And because these words describe the Akshara in various terms that cannot be applied to anybody else, but the Supreme Lord, Akshara must refer to the Supreme Person and nobody else. It cannot be Pradhana because Pradhana is inanimate and unconscious, therefore it cannot see. Likewise, the Jiva. But because here it says that the Akshara sees everything but cannot be seen by anyone, it means the Jiva, it means the Jiva. That is, the Jiva cannot see the Supreme Lord. Similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita 13:15, it also says the Supreme Soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings, and he transcends the modes of material nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all the modes of material nature, Sattva, Raja, and Tama. Now, the conditioned soul in the material world want to see the creation as a pleasurable place for him and for his enjoyment. Therefore, they concoct so many false theories about the nature and the Supreme Lord and the cosmic creation. And they want to imagine that there is no God in control and to remove all impediments to their false proprietorship and enjoyment, they do like this. And they do not understand that a material creation without a spiritual cause is impossible to exist in the creation. Now, therefore, they are unaware that he is actually the resting place of everything. In Bhagavatam, there is a verse which says that in this world of matter, in which the conditioned soul accepts consisting of enjoyable resources, the conditioned soul expands, thinking that he is the enjoyer of the material world. Similarly, the material world expands in the living entity as a source of enjoyment. In this way, they both expand, but because they are my energies, they are both pervaded by me, the Lord is saying. And as Supreme Lord, I am the cause and the effects, and one should know both of them rest in me. And here, because the passage describes the Supreme Lord's attributes, this excludes any other possibility. And as we have seen in the various verses, various explanations, it is the Akshara is Supreme Lord. Here Yajnavalkya is answering that ether is the substance on the everything which is woven. Ether is the most subtle of the elements, the cause of the other elements and the whole cosmic manifestation, and everything rests on ether, which is unlimited. But ether is resting on whom? It is resting on the Supreme Lord. And testing the limits of Yajnavalkya's knowledge, now Gargi asked on what this ether is woven. Now she is asking, you said that everything that exists, be it above heaven, beneath the earth, between everything that exists in the past, present, and future is woven on this space. But in what then is this unlimited ether woven? Now, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya says, he shows such a mystery of the subject of Brahman that his speech is almost incomprehensible to anyone who is himself not familiar with this topic. Now, then he lists the various qualities of Akshara as a series of negatives, not gross, not short, not tinged, not moist like this. And the explanation appears to suggest that some impersonal object that has no material characteristics, but in context of the previous answers, this is how Yajnavalkya was answering. But he already established that everything is resting on the Supreme Lord, who is a person only. Therefore, Akshara is none other than the Supreme Lord. And finally, Yajnavalkya says, this Akshara, those who know Brahman, they describe it neither gross nor minute, neither short nor long. It is not colorless. It is not moist. It is not shadowless. It is not without darkness, air or space like this, and without eyes, ears, speech, mind, without radiance, without breath, without measure, having neither within or without, and it consumes nothing, and nothing consumes it. And that is the nature of the Supreme Lord. And this nature, nobody can have it. Then he continues to describe the Supreme Lord's control over everything that exists in this creation. He says, under the strict control of this Akshara, the sun and the moon moves like this. We saw this example. And he says that those who, without this knowledge of this imperishable Brahman, they perform sacrifices, austerities, penances for thousands of years, but what they will attain is only limited and temporary results, and they will depart from this world as kripanas, pitiable men. However, those who realize that this Akshara is the Supreme Lord, then he departs from this world as the knower of the Brahman, and they are the true Brahmanas. And he says, indeed, this Supreme Personality of Godhead sees everything, but he remains unseen. He hears everything, but remains unheard. And understanding the width and depth of this explanation, Gargi was wonderstruck with all the explanation. Then she admits that Yajnavalkya is truly the most qualified amongst the great sages present at the sacrifice, and falls silent. And thereafter the other Brahmanas, they question him. Okay, let us go to the next slide. Okay, identification of Akshara. Across these passages, each sutra presents Akshara is none other than the Supreme Lord. This we saw in all the 3, 10, 11 and 12. In doing so, the text consistently highlight the distinctive divinity of the eternal, setting it apart from alternative explanations such as Pradhana, primordial nature, or the Jivatma. Now, divinity is command. Sutra 12 emphasizes the Supreme's command is the basis of creation and maintenance of the universe. Because of his command, the complete creation is functioning. That's why he is Akshara. And transcendental nature, Akshara has got all the transcendental qualities which others, that is Pradhana or the Jiva, they do not have. And this image helps convey the paradox of presence without context, inviting the reader to inbuild the Supreme transcendental mystery. And integration with Vedic text, as we saw examples from our explanation from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, to substantiate claims that Akshara, it is about Akshara only, and this interconnectedness with scripture enhances the authority of the arguments and illustrates a cohesive philosophical framework. Then let us see the next slide, which happens to be the last slide of today. Now the collective analysis of the sutras, building on previous insights. Sutra 10 establishes the foundational understanding of Akshara as the support of all elements. Sutra 11 builds on this by explaining that this support arises from the Supreme Lord's command. And finally, Sutra 12 emphasizes the distinct qualities of Akshara that exclude any other being, culminating in a comprehensive understanding of the divine. And the holistic view of existence, together the sutras present a holistic view of existence where the material and spiritual realms are interconnected through the Supreme Lord. the material and the spiritual worlds are connected, and with the Supreme Lord, all of his creation, they are interconnected. That means everything is interconnected with each other and also interconnected with the Supreme Lord. And the acknowledgement of exercising divine command in Sutra 11 connects back to providing foundational support. Sutra 10, in Sutra 10, while 12 highlights possessing unique attributes, and by presenting the themes of exercising divine command, providing foundational support, and possessing unique attributes in parallel, the sutras integrate previous ideas into cohesive whole. Means it is saying all the sutras 10, 11, 12, they are all also connected. The philosophical reflection, the sutras collectively invite deeper philosophical reflection on the nature of reality. They encourage seekers to recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead and as the ultimate source and sustainer of all existence, urging a shift in perception from material enjoyment to spiritual understanding. That means the jiva, he should not get involved in enjoying the nature. Rather, he should think himself to be a servant of the Supreme Lord and serve him under all circumstances. And Sutras 10 to 12 collectively articulate a profound understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Akshara through their interconnected themes of divine authority, transcendental nature, and scriptural support. They provide a comprehensive philosophical framework that underscores the necessity of recognizing the divine as the foundation of all existence. And this invites seekers to engage in deeper inquiry into the nature of reality and the Supreme Being's role in cosmos. The Supreme Lord has a role, and everything gets controlled by his will only, and nobody, including Pradhana or Jiva, can have these attributes or these qualities. Therefore, Akshara is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So with this, I come to end of today's class. But before I end, just the word about these Upanishads, because we have been referring to all these Upanishads, we should know in which Vedas they exist. Like in Rig Veda, the Aitareya Upanishad and Kaushitaki Upanishad, Samaveda, Chandogya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Yajurveda, as you know, Yajurveda has two parts, the Shukla Yajurveda of Yajnavalkya and Krishna Yajurveda of Vaisampayana. Shukla Yajurveda Vedic Upanishads are Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which we quoted many times today, and Isopanishad. Then Krishna Yajurveda, Taittiriya Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Svetasvatara Upanishad, Kalisantarana Upanishad, they are from Krishna Yajurveda. And Atharva Veda Upanishads, they are the Mundaka Upanishads, Mandukya Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad. And then you must have heard one known as Chaitanya Upanishad. It gives about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So with this, I come to end of today's class. Now the session is open for question and answers and your comments. Yes, any questions or answers or your comments? We have got a lot of time.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So nice. I think the same theme is continuing, last few, always that at least in this particular, we see how the Jiva and how the Supreme Personal Godhead and Pradhan, sometimes something is brought in and how it's defeated by giving attributes of the Lord. I think one by one, how the elimination, the last sutra, how he eliminate, exclude, that means how he eliminates, right? They cannot be there. How it is, just we have to see that logically how it works. My only question is that I still am confusion. We talk about Vedas like each Vedas, Atharva Veda may be having different sections, other Vedas will have different sections, you know. But how the Vedas and Upanishad, my understanding is that Vedas are, Vedas are in a concentrated form given in a 558 sutras. Those sutras, few sutras together they studied, and who studied that based on that 108 Upanishad form. Now, the way you are mentioning that this is the part of the Vedas, like Samved or that part, Prabhuji, I don't understand. I understand that it refers to that part, but I still confused that how come that is a part of that particular Vedas.
Okay, I'll answer that. Actually, what you said, 108 Upanishads, 108 Upanishads, at present they are known, they are existing. Otherwise, they are 1132 Upanishads.
Okay,
And they are part of the particular Vedas only. At the end of the Vedas, the Upanishads are there.
correct.
They
Yes.
are part of the Vedas. That's why I said they belong to so and so Veda and all that.
Okay. So there's a conclusion of part of that Vedas. Can we understand that? Because when I say that, so for example, you said Vedas has got like Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 18,000 slokas. When you say Canto 10, we understand Canto 10, there are 19 chapter, each chapter has so many, there may be, it has got, say 2,000 slokas, right? So it is not that, it refers or it elaborates one section of that. That's how we have to see that, right? Because part means that it becomes part of the part of the sutra, part of the what you call uh, um, you know like
Description.
1800 slokas. Like I understand that part.
Okay, I'll try to explain this. Like the Vedas are there.
Yes,
There are number of verses, number of things described there.
yes,
But the Upanishads at the end of the Vedas, they describe the essence.
correct.
That
Yes,
is Vedic. And their essence, the essence of all the Upanishads, they are given in the Brahma Sutra, or what we are talking of the Vedanta Sutra or Govinda Bhasya. And the essence of the Govinda Bhasya or the Vedanta Sutra is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam.
in a form which is understandable by the normal public. And
Yeah,
also there is another reason also, because the Vedas, they cannot be studied by anybody else other than who is a Brahmana, and the Brahmana, he has to study in a Gurukula under a qualified teacher. That is there. But
yeah,
for the Puranas, this rule is not applicable. That's why everything is appended in the Bhagavad Mahapurana and the other Puranas. The other Bhagavad Mahapurana is the essence of all the Puranas.
yeah. Yeah, okay, Prabhuji, I understand that. The sudras are not there. The sutra will come as we go forward. I think some more lesson, right? Sudra is not qualified to study, and all those things will be studying. I think it's coming in 24 or 24 lesson. It is there that will stay again on. Okay, Prabhuji, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, any other question or comment?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। सो वंडरफुल क्लास प्रभु जी। तो प्रभु जी, हम ये समझ सकते हैं कि वेदांत सूत्र का जो सार है वो उपनिषद है, और उपनिषद का सार जो है वो भगवत गीता है, ऐसा समझ सकते?
उल्टा, उपनिषद का जो सार है वेदांत सूत्र, वेदांत सूत्र का जो सार है वो श्रीमद् भागवतम।
तो फिर वो श्लोका हम गाते हैं, सर्व उपनिषदों गावो दोग्धा गोपाल नंदन, जो सर्व उपनिषद का सार जो है वो भगवत गीता कहलाता है प्रभु जी?
Yeah, that is also there.
Bhagavad Gita is the summary of all the Vedic scriptures. All the Vedic scriptures.
अच्छा प्रभु जी।
The essence of all, including Upanishads, Puranas, and so on like that.
ओके प्रभु जी। तो प्रभु जी, ये 3 सूत्र से मैं ये समझी कि सूत्र नंबर 10 जो है वो सपोर्ट ऑफ ऑल एलिमेंट्स, भगवान सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉडहेड है, वो सपोर्ट करते हैं सब एलिमेंट्स को। एलिमेंट्स में कहते हैं कि सबको कमांड देते, तब वो सब अपना अपना कार्य करते हैं। और जो
Yes.
12th सूत्र कहता है कि ये जो सारी क्वालिटीज है वो सिर्फ भगवान में हो सकती है, एक्सक्लूड एक्सक्लूड दूसरे किसी में नहीं हो सकती है। वो हम मैं ये अंडरस्टैंड। सो जो लास्ट सूत्र जो है वो हम कह सकते हैं वन विदाउट सेकंड, लॉर्ड इज वन विदाउट सेकंड। उसके
Yes, yes,
इक्वल कोई नहीं है, इसके ऊपर कोई नहीं है, इसके नजदीक कोई नहीं
yes,
है। राइट प्रभु जी?
yes, yes. There is no doubt about it. Nobody can have all the qualities as the
यस प्रभु।
Supreme Lord. Nobody can be equal to the Lord. Nobody can be higher, greater than the Supreme Lord. Because he has got all the qualities. Nobody else has got. And
यस प्रभु।
everything has emanated from him only. That's why how can they be equal to him?
यस प्रभु जी।
And we have to say, Mataji, let's see how we Prabhuji explained the Akshara word was how it was brought again and again. Because Pradhan, as he said that Pradhan is there existing, it transforms into Mahatattva, again goes back, comes everything comes back here. So temporary is there. Jiva gets conditioned, or even if it's a liberated, it's a Jiva, it is a limited again. So how using that term, Akshara, they eliminate other parts, and only Supreme Personal God is left alone there, which is nobody is equal, nobody is above, because nobody has those qualities. That's the reason nobody is equal, right, Prabhuji?
Yes,
That's
yes,
how
yes.
it is.
प्रभु जी, another name is also we can say not fallible,
Yes,
Akshara.
Yeah,
Infallible.
yes.
infallible, same thing, not
Infallible.
fall.
Yes
All
Prabhu
you.
जी।
That is correct.
Infallible, it doesn't undergo any change. It doesn't, his command never fails, right, Prabhuji? All this attribute, we take it one by one and you put to test. Because right now, Prabhuji was giving so many examples, right? He is omnipresent, he was omniscient.
Yes.
He is, he is, again, there are some more terms. Take each of the term, put to the test, it doesn't fail. It always comes true,
Yes
right?
प्रभु जी।
Yeah.
Other name is also अच्युता, हम कहते हैं ना अच्युत भगवान, never fall
Yeah,
down.
that's another name like infallible.
Yes
Another
प्रभु
name.
जी, we can connect this also, right प्रभु जी?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then my question is, if he is Achyuta, if he is infallible, then how he contradicted his own word of not taking part in the battle, but still he lifted the wheel of the chariot and ran toward Vishmaji.
One is there's what you call, one is a lila, another is a tattva. So that is where you
He is
differentiate.
independent. He can do anything.
Ah,
He is a Swaraj.
mm.
And second reason, he wants to prove the word. He wants to fulfill the words of his devotee.
Now you realize why
Mm.
I'm letting all of you to conduct these classes.
Yes
I
प्रभु जी।
am not supreme personality of God, and obviously I'm his servant, very, very insignificant servant. But
Yes प्रभु।
within our team, I'm not taking a single class, letting you do that. Because when you give such wonderful scholarly class, just as today Sharat Prabhuji gave, it gives tremendous pleasure to me, tremendous pleasure to me. So same way, when Lord sees all these things, it gives him pleasure, when he allows his devotees to take credit. That is what his greatness is all about. We learn about it.
And another thing to be remembered about the Supreme Lord, whatever he says, that is right. It may be not conforming to our logic, and that should be followed. Like Krishna, he asked Arjuna to kill whom all.
Bhishma, Pitama, everybody, Karna,
Yes,
you
yes.
name it, his guru, everybody is asking to kill one by
And,
one.
and
Yeah.
as per our normal logic, they are not ethical.
Yeah.
But Why they are correct? Because Krishna said it is correct, that's why it is correct. What is written in the Gita is correct because Krishna has said. What is
Yes, Prabhuji.
what is given in the Vedas, they are right because they are the words of the Supreme Lord. So that much of faith we should have on our scriptures. Any other comment or question?
अभी तो बहुत कुछ आगे आने वाला है, देखना बहुत कुछ
प्रभु
आगे
जी,
वाला है.
इवन लिबरेटेड सोल, मैंने कल ही पढ़ा था, अब हम आगे तो लिबरेटेड सोल ऑल्सो नॉट इक्वल टू, मतलब वो भी एक संशय में आता था, मैंने एक सूत्र में पढ़ा 2 दिन पहले, तो वो संशय में ऐसे कहते हैं कि लाइक हमेशा ये हम सूत्र में देखे जीवात्मा इज सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉड, ऐसे लिबरेटेड सोल को भी कनेक्ट किया है 1-2 सूत्र में ऐसे कि लिबरेटेड सोल भी क्या सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉडेड है, तो वो भी नहीं हो सकते क्योंकि वो भी डिपेंडेंट ही है. लाइक
वो या तो
वैकुंठ
liberation ही.
लोक में प्रभु जी सब भगवान के जैसे दिखते हैं मगर ऑल आर सर्विंग द लॉर्ड. हम लोग ने बहुत
Exactly.
श्रीमद् भागवतम में सुना और पढ़ा.
या
माता जी,
व्यासदेव
वो
को भी
liberated
भगवान
soul तो
बोला है
impersonal
मदर.
liberated soul होगा,
Yeah.
impersonal
हाँ.
liberation होगा,
या
personal liberation नहीं.
The shloka from Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivansal Jivaloka Jivabhuta Sanatana. Eternally they are Jivas only.
या
They can never be the Supreme Lord. They will have a lot of qualities of the Supreme
बट
Lord.
स्टिल दे
There is
आर
no doubt.
सर्विंग द लॉर्ड ओनली, है ना प्रभु जी?
They are serving the Lord. They have
Yes,
got the same. Okay, if you ever go to say Vaikuntha, you will also see the persons, the devotees also in
या
the same dress, same
yes.
appearance as the Lord. But
फोर
what
हैंडेड फॉर्म.
what are the differences? How do you recognize
कौस्तुभ मणि नहीं है
या
उनके चेस्ट, कौस्तुभ मणि नहीं है और
Kustubh
लक्ष्मी जी का वास नहीं है.
Yes,
No,
there are.
Raksha Mataji, what you are saying, as I'm connecting, we have some time, because Narad Muni is called Ishwar, Bhagwan, Vyasdev is called also Bhagwan. So we have to understand contextually what they are talking about.
यस प्रभु जी.
Right, because in that way, elevated soul can be called, but they are like, their conscience is like that, but they cannot be like become there, because any jiva or anybody cannot create the material world. Even those qualities are there, or they cannot control, they cannot do anything. Even some of the great Vaishnavas, they can see past, present and future, that's it. But beyond that, what they can do? Right, and that also everything
यस
is
प्रभु
coming
जी,
from
वेरी
him.
ट्रू.
So we have to see with that context what refers to them, and why they are sometimes called as a Bhagwan. That is that's
दे
what I
हैव
understand.
लिमिटेड पावर, दे हैव
Correct.
पावर बट लिमिटेड पावर.
हाँ, भगवान
एंड
की पावर है.
लाइक
And the power
हाँ
comes from the
Correct.
हाँ,
from
उनको भी
Supreme
पावर
Personal
मिलता है
Godhead.
भगवान से. यस प्रभु जी.
And
हमने आगे के सूत्र में देखा है जैसे इंद्र कहता है आई एम द प्राणोस्मि,
Yes.
मेरी
Yeah.
वर्शिप करो, मुझे ये करो, वो सब हमने देखा था ना पहले के सूत्रों में.
yes. Those we have seen.
भाई बाकी सब लोग क्या सो रहे हैं कि क्या है, कुछ पूछिए.
They,
We are here, Prabhuji.
possibilities are they have totally understood or not understood anything clean bold or confused.
Yes, bro, वो दो ही हो सकते, either either we can understood fully or either we cannot understood anything. So, no, Prabhu,
Yeah,
thank you so much. We are
so
listening
yeah.
the discussion from the devotees. So very nice class, Prabhu. And yeah, Prabhu, thank you so much as always. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. We are there. Just listening, Prabhu. That's all. Wonderful session, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, any question on any other thing? We have got time.
यस
Any
प्रभु जी,
other?
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था कि गार्गी माता जो है वो जो पहले के सूत्र में भी ऐसा याज्ञवल्क्य ऋषि का ही था ना कि उन्होंने ही बोला था कि ये सारी गायें लेके जाओ मेरे आश्रम में छोड़ दो, आई विल गिव द आंसर टू ऑल क्वेश्चन। वो याज्ञवल्क्य ऋषि ही थे कि नहीं प्रभु जी के दूसरे ऋषि थे? इन द
Yeah,
याज्ञवल्क्य ही
असेंबली
थे,
ऑफ जनक।
रक्षा माता जी याज्ञवल्क्य ही थे।
हाँ, तो वही सभा में अभी कंटिन्यूटी में है प्रभु जी ये सारा, अभी अभी का भी जो
और रामायण
एपिसोड है।
में भी आते हैं ना, रामायण में भी आते हैं ऑल्सो।
यस प्रभु जी।
So एक जगह देखना है, don't see that one character like a Bhrigu also mess up, does lot of things, but other places also he does so many good things also.
नहीं, मेरा
So
क्वेश्चन ये है कि अभी वही सभा कंटिन्यू में है, जनक जी की सभा थी ना प्रभु जी, वो उसमें
हाँ,
सारे ऋषि आए थे, यही सभा में ये कंटिन्यूटी में जा रहा है प्रभु जी?
no, not.
जन
These are all different,
कॉन्टेक्स्ट।
different episodes.
अच्छा प्रभु जी।
हम्म,
तो माता जी, प्रभु जी गार्गी माता के बारे में बताइए ना।
हाँ मुझे भी पता नहीं है। और लेडीज आए, पर फर्स्ट टाइम वी आर हियरिंग समथिंग राइट
यस,
इन
माता
इन
जी,
गुरु
I
दैट।
will
माता है।
share the I will share the video, माता जी,
ओके,
about Gargi and Yajnavalkya. There is
यस
a lot of stuff in that video.
Yeah,
If you are
When,
interested,
when
I will
I
share it.
when I prepare my PowerPoint, many times such doubts occurs to me. A good source to get such answers. Uh, there are few very good sites there. You know, um, Wiki,
Yajnavalkya.
विकिपीडिया।
Wikipedia,
विकिपीडिया।
and there is another such thing that you ask question, they'll give you the answer. You know, when I prepare PowerPoints, many times this question, such a question occurs to my mind, also comes to my mind. Then I ask these questions.
See,
Wikipedia.
there is one Upanishad Ganga. There's a lot of episodes on that. In that also there is Maitreyi, Gargi, and Yajnavalkya's history is also there in that one of the episodes. Also, there is on in YouTube there are some certain videos on how this thing took place. What was the questions she asked and how he answered. So those videos are also there. If you are interested, I will share it with you, Raksha Mataji.
यस
Just
प्रभु,
share in the link
यस
so we
माता
can
जी।
see, because they will be coming again and again, some of them, you know.
I
So
wonder,
this
Gargi is the daughter of Gargacharya. Sharad Prabhuji, do you think so?
Garga Muni. Garga Muni.
Yeah,
Gargamuni.
गर्ग
Gargacharya.
मुनि की हाँ।
लोग उसको Gargacharya भी बोलते हैं ना? He's
हाँ,
Acharya. So
हाँ,
maybe
Gargacharya.
But
maybe
that
she is
is
his
also
daughter.
not certain. I am not very sure after going through.
So
Please
let's
do
do
not.
some research and Raksha
I'll,
Mataji,
I'll,
आप
I'll,
research
I'll,
कीजिए.
I'll do.
Raksha
यस
Mataji,
प्रभु जी।
I
यस यस
encourage you to do the find the
यस
answers.
प्रभु जी।
जो
यस
क्वेश्चन
आई
पूछते
विल डू।
उसे पूछते find out करने दो.
यस यस प्रभु
ये
जी, आई विल
दो
डू।
तीन सोर्स मैंने कहा ना कि one of the sources is Wikipedia,
यस
like that.
आई विल डू, आई विल डू।
Simply ask the question, who is Gargi?
बिकॉज सो मच नॉलेजेबल, सो मच
Yeah.
नॉलेजेबल।
जब आप खुद फाइंड आउट आंसर करेंगे ना, आपको बहुत खुशी होगी.
यस प्रभु जी, 100%।
Any other question, any other doubt you have got may not be relating to today's class.
Most of the debates were happening during Janak Maharaj time. Janak Maharaj used to call off these debates, and all these learned personalities like Yajnavalkya, Ashtavakra, and Gargi, Maitreyi, all they used to participate in these sessions, and there this happened that Yajnavalkya was actually very learned person, and he was then challenged by so many of them because he said he took away the cows. So he was challenged, and then he gave the answers to all their questions. Then Gargi started to ask. Now when Gargi is asking, she is asking, probing. You see in these Upanishads we are learning now, you can see how she is asking questions, very pointed, one pointed questions. So she's like taking him slowly higher and higher, higher. She wants to know who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the goal, but she will go slowly, one by one, step by step, how she asks the questions. And when she comes to the topmost, that is when Supreme Personality of Godhead, at that time Yajnavalkya is very much like very agitated like that, and then he becomes he says, you are asking too much, you are asking beyond your capacity, because why? Because those days impersonalism was actually the topmost, right? And she was trying to bring him towards, why? Because she knew that Yajnavalkya is not, she wanted to challenge him, she wanted to bring out his intelligence, she wanted to bring out that he is a topmost scholar. So for that reason she was asking these questions, not because she wanted to put him down or challenge him or not. So when finally he was asking that final question, then he said, I will answer your questions, but this sabha is not meant for, is not apt for it, because he knew if he tells something which is about the Supreme Lord, is in personalism, everybody will start jumping. So you should see that video. I will share it in the on YouTube. It's there on YouTube. It's very wonderful, and also the Upanishad Ganga. In Upanishad Ganga also they have captured, but of course it is made by Chinmaya mission. So the Upanishad Ganga is by Chinmaya mission. So it is veering towards impersonalism. So anyway, we can still see what were that caliber. What was the caliber of these great souls? How they were debating, and to what extent their learning and understanding was. That we can really appreciate.
Thank you, Mata.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you,
But
Mataji. Wonderful information.
At the same time, we should be very careful about the YouTube things which are many of the information, they are not correct. Interpretations not correct.
Exactly, not correct in the sense they are veering towards impersonalism, because they are
YouTube,
their goal is impersonalism. So
anybody can put up their views on YouTube.
Correct.
Yes. Exactly.
और प्रभु जी लास्ट टाइम आपने एक मैसेज डाला था कि ये दो श्लोक का बाय हार्ट कर लेना.
Yes, I have
उसके बारे में बताइए प्रभु जी.
नहीं माता जी, आप नहीं बोलना, समता माता जी, अर्चना माता जी नहीं. I had given 2 slokas to be memorized.
Yes, प्रभु जी.
Yeah, anybody out of not these three of the 3 devotees, anybody else, these 2 slokas.
Prabhuji, I know one only, that is Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranata Kleshanasaya Govindaya Namanam.
You know what is the importance of this sloka? It is said that if you recite this sloka 21 times before you go out of your house, you will not meet with an accident. This is confirmed. 21 times this sloka.
But Prabhuji, that I just read that, I didn't memorize. It takes time for me now. But it basically talks about, Canto 1, 9s of it. But I look at, I may be wrong on that. I look, that is just some presentation. That's not the truth also. Right, the lotus feet, that Vishwarupa and all that, this is how it is there, that lotus feet is the base, and then go about, then next and next and next, because there's nothing like that, right? So we hear from both the sides. This for a larger understanding. What else is there in that slokas? I really still don't understand. That has that potential to say or transform, or say, it will change something. That by reading the translation, I don't understand anything that gravitate or gives that.
Okay, what is the second sloka?
Nama Pankaja Nabhaya,
Nama
Nama
Pankaja
Pankaja
Nabhaya.
Maline. That one.
Yes, that is given in the And both these slokas
Kunti
there
Sot.
in the 10th canto.
Navapangkaj Nabhais
Even
Kunti
Kunti Maharani
Maharani's
speak also.
prayers. Yeah.
उसमें भी है प्रभु
First
जी,
canto, bro.
उसमें भी है और उसमें भी है, 10th कैंटो में भी है।
10th canto में भी है, first canto
भूमि
में भी
देवी
है.
जब प्रार्थना करते ना वराह देव को तभी।
The first one in 73rd, 73 chapter and second one in 59 chapter.
यस प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी, जो जो प्रणत क्लेश नाशा है वो श्लोक हमें वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखना है कि जब भी जरासंध ने सारे जो राजाओं को कैद बना लिया था, बंदी बना लिया था, तभी उन्होंने भगवान को ये प्रार्थना की थी कि हमें सब यहाँ से छुड़ाइए, है ना।
Yes.
तो वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम देख सकते हैं, क्योंकि क्योंकि डिवोटी जो है वो भगवान से ये भी नहीं मांगता है, क्योंकि जो अहेतु की भक्ति करते हैं तो वो तो ये भगवान से ऐसा कुछ मांगते नहीं कि हमें इससे मुक्त करो, भगवान की बस उनको तो सेवा ही चाहिए। तो मगर जो भगवान के अभी भक्त नहीं बने तो वो बोल सकते हैं अच्छे से, क्योंकि हम उनको इंस्पायर कर सकते हैं कि भाई आप ये बोलेंगे तो ये हो सकता है।
Yeah,
ये
Prabhuji, I'm
अंडरस्टैंडिंग
reading
करेक्ट है
something.
प्रभु जी?
I'm reading something different slokas. Maybe we are talking about this the slokas which was given. Pado yadiyo, right? Prathama dvitiyo, titiya
No,
stuti
no,
katho. Okay.
that is Raksha Mataji had
वो तो
mentioned
मैंने
to
भेजा था कल,
learn.
प्रभु
Okay.
जी ने
Okay.
प्रभु
पूरा
जी ने
लिंक
दो
बताया
बताए
था ना
थे.
प्रभु जी ने। हाँ,
Okay.
That is the various cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam,
Yeah.
which parts of the Supreme Lord.
ऐसा प्रभु जी का
Can't hear you, Mataji.
Your voice is breaking.
Raksha Mataji, your voice is breaking. We can't hear you.
Sharad Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
since we have a few minutes, I need to ask you these questions. Maybe you might have sent me, but I can't recall. Remember, a few weeks ago, I gave every one of you an
Yeah.
assignment
Yes, Prabhuji, I have not yet sent it. I am just going through
because
it.
today's
This
now,
week only I will send it.
because 7th, 8th August now,
Yes. In
I have
just
sent to Sharad Prabhuji. I want him to have a second look, Prabhuji. I sent that time itself, almost week or 10
no,
days
you
back,
just
right?
give it.
Yeah.
All I wanted is to just name just what is the
Yeah.
number, the sloka number. You don't have to describe or
yes.
summarize anything.
That
Okay, I will do that part.
in
I will do
next
that part. You just identify those slokas, okay? Those the
Okay,
sutras.
Transformative
Most like,
sutras, transformative.
most
That's
likely
what
you
they
will
were.
find the answer in that third chapter, okay?
yes.
The third chapter is all about uh, devotional service. In
Krishna
great
Prema.
depth it is given. In great depth. Okay, Prabhuji, I think let's conclude the class then.
Any volunteer for Nrsimha prayers?
Yeah, Archana Mataji, would you like to say? Because it's been
Okay,
very
Mataji,
long.
yes.
Thank you.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralhadalhadadaine. Pralhadalhadadaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaः. Hiranyakashipurvakshaः. शिलाटङ्कानखालये. शिलाटङ्कानखालये. इदो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा. इदो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा. यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा. यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा. बहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा. बहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा. नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपदे. नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपदे. तव करकमलवरे नखा. अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता. हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृङ्गा. केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू वेरी मच
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Mataji. Thank
much.
you very much.
थैंक यू माता जी। प्रभु जी, आई वांट टू सिर्फ कंफर्म दैट गार्गी माता ने ही सीता माता को ऐसे कपड़े दिए थे जो कभी भी खराब न हो सके। जब भी वनवास में गए
I
थे
think
तभी।
that is Ansuya, right?
अनसुया अनसुया
Anusaya,
अच्छा
yes.
वो,
Yeah.
ओके ओके ओके, आई एम लिटिल कंफ्यूज, मुझे लगा कि वो ही है क्या। अच्छा अच्छा, ओके
Yeah, that is Ansuya Mataji.
ओके ओके।
So
Okay,
next
hi
week,
everybody. So
हैप्पी एकादशी टू ऑल डिवोटी।
Happy Ekadashi, yeah.
and next weekend onwards, we will be having classes on Saturdays and Sundays,
Sunday.
and both days Govinda Bhasya.
यस प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी और अभी श्लोका देना।
Yes, I'll give 4 slokas for next weekend.
यस प्रभु जी।
okay,
हरे
Hari Bol,
Hari.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank
दंडवत
you.
प्रणाम टू ऑल डिवोटीज। हरे कृष्ण।